This is a super simple fish dish. This is cod with Ritz cracker crust. A little bit of panko in there as well. But we're going to start with 3 beautiful fillets here of cod. You can use sea bass if you want, but try to get the best quality fish you possibly can. And then Ritz crackers are going to coat them. Take your food processor. We're going to use about 1 full sleeve of these crackers. It's going to make way more than you need, but I'd rather have too much than too little. It seems like for about each fillet here, you're only going to need about 1/4 of the pack. We're just going to make these real fine into a nice little powder. Once you do that, just make sure that they're nice and fairly evenly sized. Pull out the big pieces. You can just eat those now. It's a great little snack. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add these to a mixing bowl and continue to incorporate some elements to this. You could add or subtract whatever you want in this. I'm going to put in about 1/4 of the amount I have in Ritz in panko. You could also add parsley to this if you want. You could add some cheese to this if you want. I'm going to mix in a little bit of melted butter. This is right around 2 tablespoons. This is just going to help with the browning process, and it'll just make them more delicious too. A little bit of garlic powder also. If you want to use actual garlic, that's also totally fine. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt in here. The crackers are salty, they're buttery, so just keep that in mind. You don't want to over salt this. You could add a little bit of pepper if you want, but I don't really love pepper in fish. And then we're just going to mix these together. You want to get that butter kind of evenly coating everything. We're going to add a little olive oil too at the very end, but that's the base there. Now we're going to prep the fish. The fish are cooked in 2 parts. We're going to cook them in a baking dish as well. We're going to just kind of line it with some olive oil. That way it's a little nonstick and it also helps cook them. And then we're just going to throw those in there completely uncovered. And they're going to go into an oven at 400 degrees for about 5 to 7 minutes. Just make sure there's a good amount of space there. I'm going to brush a little bit of olive oil on the top as well, just to help them cook from both sides. You can just put them in completely uncovered. That's totally fine. But I like to just give it a little something to start cooking that top a little bit quicker. Throw those in. It is preheating, but that's totally fine. You're going for just basically 3/4 of the way cooked there. This is right about 5 to 7 minutes later. You can tell it's starting to flake apart, which means you're pretty close. We're going to add in some white wine at this point. It's almost going to make kind of like a pan sauce at the bottom as it cooks for the rest. You could add butter at this point also. I'm going to add a little more olive oil on the top, some slices of lemon. You don't need to do this. This is just added flavor. If you don't like lemon with your fish, totally fine. I'm going to throw a little over the top as well. And then all that added liquid is going to give the breadcrumbs here a nice place to stick. Get them on nice and thick. If some fall into the sauce, that's totally fine. It's going to help it thicken up and become a real nice sauce. Get as much of those on as you can there. And then I'm going to just top them with a little bit of olive oil. This will help it brown up in the oven. And then you're going to throw those back in until they're golden brown and the fish is at the temperature you want them to be. For me, it was about another 5 minutes. And look at that. That's beautiful. You want them right on that edge. They're not burnt. They're golden brown. They're holding together, though, which is what you want. You don't want them still so uncooked that they're falling off. Now let's plate it up. You could serve this with whatever you want. I made a little bit of asparagus, and we're going to use that kind of as a bed on the plate. We're going to try to get a little bit fancy with our plating here. I don't think I did a great job, but you guys tell me what you think. We're going to throw that fish right on top of the asparagus, and as I pull that spatula out, we're going to pull all the asparagus with it. So don't do that. Put it back together a little bit there. And that's it. That's, to me, what a restaurant would serve you. The sauce doesn't look great on the plate, so I'm not going to kind of just pour it over. Throw a little one of those cooked lemon wedges onto the plate as well. And that's it. If you want to cook this over rice, that's totally fine. But this is just an absolutely simple 15-20 minute dish. Not a lot of ingredients, but it tastes so good. And, Ritz crackers are fun to have. So check this out.